Don Le Batard.
Fans cheer that type of stuff. Tom Brady went down with an Achilles the only time he got hurt in his entire career, and I was fist pumping in my living room at home because the Jets finally had a chance to win a division. I mean, I'm sorry. I'm not going to apologize for that.
I'm sorry. I'm not going to apologize for that. Is one of the most amazing sentences you've ever uttered.
Stugats.
From the maker of Trust Me, Don't Trust Me comes, I'm sorry, but I'm not going to apologize. You are amazing.
Thank you. I know.
You are a flabbergasting delight. You happen upon genius comedy by accident.
That's my gift.
This is the Don Le Batard Show with the Stugats on ESPN Radio.
So, Stugats, I've told you the story before of, and I would encourage everybody to just try and spend some time listening to the perspective of others over the next couple of days. I don't know if you feel helpless or hopeless, but if you do, instead of arguing with people, you might want to listen to people who have a different perspective than yours. But I've told you about my black friend, muscular black friend, who told me the story one time of seeing an old man. He's just one of the kindest people I know. And seeing an old man fall down near him and not be able to get up. And his instinct, of course, was to help him. And then he's like, oh, I can't because I'm a muscular black man and I can't be seen standing over a white guy, an old white guy, because I don't know what happens after that. And so you sort of live your entire life with that perspective, and it's a perspective that I've never considered, right? Old man goes down, I'm going to go try and help the old man. But he's got to live his life with an antenna forever up. And so Derek Mason, the Vanderbilt football coach, tells a story that we're going to play for you here. And it's just not, we didn't have to be raised this way, Stugats, even though our families, in the case of, half the show, Billy, Mike, and me, we come from a place that feels like this weekend, like our families come from that place. Derek Mason, the Vanderbilt football coach, listen to this story and you tell me if there was anything like this in your childhood when it came to parenting.
I mean, I was talking to my wife yesterday, and this is how, it really hit home for me. My wife said, Derek, I'm looking at you, and I can remember your dad. My stepdad's an ex-military guy, but she said, when I first met you, he always had this lanyard around his neck, and he always had one for you, and he was on you all the time about wearing that lanyard around your neck. And here's why. He always wanted me to keep my driver's license and my registration around my neck, so if I ever got pulled over, okay, man, I would never have to reach, for anything or reach in a glove compartment. And that's sort of what my conversation was about yesterday, just a little bit. It's like, okay, man, you grow up, in this microcosm of, okay, man, do these things and make it home safe. Okay, and that's what I was always told. Do these things and you make it home safe. And, even in doing these things, man, what we saw, with the death of, George Floyd was the idea, man, that he did things right and he didn't make it home safe. And that's scary. It's scary for a lot of parents. It's scary for, young men in this country. So, man, we got to address these issues and we got to make sure we get it right.
Yeah, of course, I didn't have to deal with any of that growing up, Dan. I never had to think about what I was wearing when I went out. Never had to think about what kind of car I was driving, putting my hands in my pocket. Never had to think about having my license around my neck. I didn't have to think about anything. I was never worried about getting home. So naturally, I never had to think about any of that stuff growing up. It's stuff that quite frankly, I can't relate to. But I feel the pain of others, and I feel terrible that they're going through this pain and appear to live by a different set of rules that I'm not familiar with because simply that's just not where and how I grew up.
Well, how about this one? You and I have worked in sports all our lives, and I'm about to play sound from the North Carolina Central University basketball coach, Lavelle Moten. I'm going to play this sound for you, and I've worked in sports all my life, Stugats. You've worked in sports all your life. What this man is about to say is something that is obvious only after you hear it, but would have been something I never considered before he told this story. Here's Lavelle Moten, the basketball coach at North Carolina Central University.
See, in our program, we have days where we go in the gym and we put 4 chairs together as if they're going to be a drivers, a passengers, and 2 back seats, and we play Let's Get Pulled by the Cops Today. And this is how you react when the cop pull you, because your job is as a young man is to make it back home. right? So I don't need you being tough. I don't need you mouthing off. I want you to put your license when you go out. I want you to have your license on the dash where you're not reaching into no consoles or glove compartments, because we don't need any built-in excuses for these cops to have a reason to shoot or antagonize you. So when they approach you, keep two hands on the wheel. If you're going to reach for something, you ask him 2 times, sir, may I please reach for my license right now? And I don't even want you reaching for your license or anything. I want you keeping it on the dashboard. Matter of fact, do what my mentors told me when I was young. Memorize your driver's license number so you can tell them that instead of having to reach and they have an issue. So that's how I always coach.
Practicing getting pulled over, like practicing in practice, taking time away from basketball to make sure you can get home.